Greetings, everyone. I am so glad to be on the line today. Oh my goodness. We've got a couple of minutes before I actually get started because we are doing some technical work here on the backside. So today is more or less a reading and testing for the material or for this particular segment. So first of all, I want to thank you for being here and working and walking with me through this while I create this wonderful platform. There you go. There's my technical stuff, making sure that you could hear me. So thank you so very much. I really appreciate it. And we're going to go ahead and get started in just a little bit. And I've got my community on Facebook watching as well. So we're going to go ahead and get started in just shortly. Lighting my beautiful sage that I have right here. I'll be using the melanated tarot deck, and I'll share with you the box. I found this in Sedona. Actually, it was gifted to me. And I really appreciate it. This particular edition here, Melanated Classic Tarot. Ta-da! And it is so beautiful, by Julia Goolsby and Aubrey Thornshaw. And I feel really privileged to be able to read different books, different styles of tarot, and in learning about tarot and the original illustrator, Pamela Coleman Smith, I was able to learn so much about the images. And so it's really interesting to find images that look like a melanated community. However, when you begin studying tarot, you'll see that it's really not about the images at all. It's really connected to the elements that are definitely of cultural background. So therefore, then you get a little deeper into the aspect of tarot and begin enjoying how the readings actually unfold based on those images or the illustration. So I'm going to go ahead and just clear these for the work that we're doing right now. I'm going to do a general reading. However, if you are in the stream for Facebook and you see the chat, go ahead and put your question in there if you're on live. Again, this is the audio and the video is on a test run today. We want to do soon on Facebook as well. So that will be definitely fascinating. Very good. So we're going to go ahead and do the reading. This is general for today. We've got a full moon in Gemini. Wow. And lunar eclipse. That's amazing, because a full moon, a lot of times when people are doing work for the full moon, it's representative of release and let go. However, that lunar eclipse is literally allowing you to be able to create the desires, or create what you desire to achieve, what you want to experience, and also how you'd like to experience it. And it also opens up the door to forgiveness, which is really empowering, because when we let go, we walk into an experience of forgiveness. And in that space, in the space of forgiveness, it's not about forgiving the other person. It's really about forgiving yourself for either acting out a certain way, or accepting a certain behavior, or becoming a manifestation of behavior or thoughts. And it's okay to acknowledge where you developed from in that, or where it all came from, and also allow yourself to have accountability for your own actions, responsibility for that. So this lunar eclipse, full moon in Gemini, and which is interesting because Gemini is a duality, right? So it's being able to see two sides, and not just one side, and that's really important. that we are able to see the whole perspective. We're able to be in our shoes and then someone else's shoes as well. I think that's really interesting. Um, Also, that Gemini looks like it looks like a two. However, in addition, it looks like an 11. So because of the shape that it's in, like a Roman numeral. And so the 11 is a day of communication, also a day of service, a day of connection, and also reframing. And that is really important. So I'm going to go ahead and pull general cards. I'm going to do 3 cards here, and I'll hold them up so that you're able to see them. So the first card I'm pulling is, oh wow, it's the Hangman. Now, I do read reverse cards. So this card is the Hangman, and it is reversed. That's, especially for today. And the third card that we get, wow, all 3 of them are reversed. King of Wands. So I'm going to show you those cards as they are normally. So here is the Hangman normal in its upright position. Here's the King of Wands in its upright position. Wow, that is so amazing. So let's look at this. We're looking at the Hangman, and it's reversed in this case. And hey, Shanae, thank you for being here. And I just want to say I probably have a little bit of a lag on here, so just one second. There you go. I believe that might support the resisting the feed. So again, like I said, we're doing a little bit of technical things on this particular line. Okay, very good. Thank you, Shanae, for being on here. Okay, so the Hangman reverse. When we're looking at this card, and I'm going to show this to you. So when we're looking at this card, we're seeing that there were ideas or thoughts that were caught up, and you didn't know which way to go or move. And it also indicates making a move too soon. The Hangman reversed, making a move too soon, and maybe not taking time to think out something in all its place. So this is when I do this card, I'm doing it past, present, and moving forward. And this is the energy today. So we may have started early today, making quick decisions, not necessarily making decisions thought out based on the whole totality. And that's really important. However, the next card we have is the 5 of Cups, and it came reversed. So I'll show it to you in the reversed form. So when you're looking at the 5 reversed in the cups, it appears that there is a lot lost, right? So there's cups spilled over, and then the other cups are upside down. However, this is to, as I like to say, not to cry over spilled milk, because it's done. What's done is done. What has occurred can't be undone. However, it is about acknowledging, which I find very interesting, that Hangman reversed. It's acknowledging that something did occur and that there's a responsibility that is important. And so if you notice, there is cups on each side of the, I'll put it face up, of the young man. And so this could indicate 2 different perspectives. And now the actions have now resulted in what I call the spilled milk, right? So when you're looking at that, these 2 different perspectives, it doesn't mean that they were wrong, which is really interesting. When you're looking at how things are formulating today, it doesn't mean that these things are negative. It is allowing you to get a bird's eye view as to what has been caused. And if you can notice here, there's the body of water right there, which is an emotional body. If you notice that his tunic is dark gray or water blue. And so this would be a person who's now stepping into their accepting what they've created instead of crying over spilt milk. Now they're at a place of acceptance, and you see the light that's around his body. So there's an aspect of enlightenment, which in that acceptance is responsibility. Like, wow, this is where I'm at. This is what I've created. And this is, now I'm having this light. And it may seem like it's a little too late. Like, oh my gosh, it's a little bit too late. I don't know if I can fix what I have toppled over. It doesn't have to be negative. Matter of fact, it isn't negative, because you come into a point of recognizing what the loss is, and recognizing the responsibility and the accountability of it all, and knowing where you can do better and how you can now set your matter straight, because that's what this is about: stepping into your power again, but power in a way that is that is humility, instead of being I'm going to say being forlorn or feel defeated. This could be a very defeated card if you were looking at it upright. So this card shows that, well, let me be humble about what I've learned. There's some enlightenment here, and I can go forward. So that's good. Now, it's the 5, which is representative of change. And it's reversed. So it may also indicate that change may or may not happen unless you decide to move forward. And how would you move forward? That means you would have to take action. But in that case, taking action means you have to acquiesce. Now, it's really interesting. The next card is the King of Wands. It came reversed, but I want to show you it this way. So this card could be taking back your power. But it's Wands. And in this case, coming from an extremely defeated position, and then now having to humble yourself in that enlightenment, coming back with a lot of pride would be this King of Wands, right? I'm going to create something different. I have a lot of pride. However, this card didn't come up that way. This card came up reversed. So this card in its reverse nature, which I find so interesting. And in the fact that it's reversed, this king is taking is allowing the lesson to be learned and gleaned from, not in a haughty way, not in a way that is how should I say, with a lot of pride. Nothing like that. This card is indicating taking more of where you would acquiesce to the knowledge. And then in this case, even in your creation, you would do so in a way that is not abrasive. So therefore, it doesn't mean that a person can't be proactive in making a change, but it's the attitude of that person making the change. So when I see king or queen, I always recognize it as the actual person. And so this is this person, and that wand, that would be more or less this attitude. The fact that the king is reversed now takes more of the queen energy, because I see it moving backward. But in this case, it's not backward as in a negative way, but the queen is more the nurturer. The queen has the feelings. The queen is open, has an open heart. So in this case, this would be a person who may feel rightful. You might feel rightful to now make changes and say, this is how it's going to be, and I'm going to create it this way. However, there's lessons to be learned here, and there's that humility and that humbleness about the lessons learned. And so today, definitely, in that full moon is an aspect of releasing, letting go, right? Forgiving yourself, but doing so in such a humble way. And being, having this internal humility to the divine for the role that you played, and now you can see both perspectives. Maybe before you couldn't see both perspectives, and that was definitely the case. And so therefore, that's where the hastiness of the attitude has played in some of these issues that have been in the last couple of weeks, I'm going to say. So today, it's a reflection on, oh my gosh, I may have moved really hastily. And in being hasty, may have made decisions that have caused for all the milk to be spilt, basically. And I can't put the milk back in the cup, but I need to recognize my part in how this happened. And it's not one-sided. You're actually able to see both sides. And that's what's the beautiful part of it being the Gemini moon. You can see both sides. And that allows you to have empathy. Why do we know that? Because this is the King of Wands reversed. The Kings of Wands reversed is leaning back into that heart field of the Queen. And so this is that this part that there's no regret, there's no resentment. However, there's empathy for a circumstance and a situation. So you go back into the heart. And so as you're creating with this wand, you're not beating anybody up or beating yourself up with a wand, but you're now looking at how you can create better and how you can move forward, being more of a nurturer instead of being really hard pressed to have it your way. So I find the energy of those cards, especially today, for the full moon to be so interesting and very helpful. I'm really glad this feed is actually, once I figured out something on one side, it actually cleared up quite well. So I'm really glad for that. Thank you, Shanae. Yes, absolutely. The inner and the person within is now coming to an understanding of having a perspective that's not one-sided, and understanding how a person would get into that circumstance or situation. And the beautiful part is that this applies to first of all, attitude or situations that are occurring, because we're looking at the major arcana that's sitting there with a hangman reversed. So there's a major event that has occurred probably in the last week, because this card is actually a 12. And so I'm going to say in the last 12 days, that hangman has just been out there, and it's caused, the energy of it has been definitely, I shouldn't say, but has been trepidatious, because then you don't know how to move forward. So then, therefore, you may make decisions that, right, this eclipse, right? You may make decisions that are, that may have not been as beneficial as you thought that they would turn out to be. And it also gives a great perspective, that hangman reversed, that in any of the actions that we may have taken, how the consequences move for us. And so that could be in business, that can be in relationships, that can be in your education, that could be your personal development. Like, where do we overstep? And where do we exceed boundaries? Where do we not see someone's perspective and we acted rashly? That's that hanged man reverse. So that's what's happening right there. And then recognizing, oh my gosh, I didn't see this other person, or I didn't see the other side of things. That's the 5 of Cups reverse. I didn't see it, and now I can see it, right? But at the same time, I've got to accept that actually happened, and how do I fix what was done in the past? May not be able to. And so that's where it's humbling right there. It's humbling. There's the enlightenment that's right around him. I love that card right there. I love it, because it really allows you I'm going to say, all of a sudden God's thoughts descended upon the person. So that they can see, oh shit, I I only saw one side, and now I can see both sides, and I can see the consequences for both sides. And I may not have really liked that, but I don't have to remain defeated. I can come out of this better, right? And so, how do I come out of this better? First of all, not having a hard heart. King of Wands reverse, creating something better. Don't beat yourself up. It's not necessary to beat yourself up, because then now you wouldn't be learning from this. And this card is definitely saying that you learned. You're like, oh wow. This card is a pouring out of emotions and releasing. That's definitely indicative of the full moon. Yeah, Shanae says the card does appear to be glowing, right? Right. So it's indicative of this full moon to release and let go of things that no longer serve your purpose. But that's such a blanketed statement, and I'm going to say that because I've been reading cards a long time, and then I hear people say, oh, release and let go of things that no longer serve you. But it did serve you. And it continues to serve you because it's teaching you a lesson. It doesn't mean you stay in that negativity of it, but it's serving you. So when people say, release and let go of the things that no longer serve you, like I'm a bullshit, red flag caller like that on things like that, because it's going to serve you. Even if that knowledge helps you to move forward to the next day, or the next moment, or the next decision, it's serving you. So there's not this release and let go, but at this point, it's about letting go of the stuff that's not serving you, that you're doing to yourself. You see, it's not about everybody else out there. Release and let go of that person or that business or this thing because it's not serving you. No. This is about you. Release and let go of what's not serving the spirit being of you, the emotional being of you, the physical being of you, the ethereal part of you, the trinity of you, the ancestors in you. Like, what is it in you that you gotta release and let go? So is it release and let go of your pride or your ego? Release and let go of when someone says they may be acting like in the victim mentality. They're a victim all the time. You may need to release and let go, feeling fearful. Release and let go, being angry. Release and let go, being feeling trapped. Release and let go of thinking someone's always attacking you. Release and let go of thinking that you're not able to succeed. It's that release and let go. It's not release and let go as I'm going to release and let go of these people because I'm going to release and let go of that person because he or she, I'm going to release and let go. Like that hasn't, I'm going to release and let go of that business because it's not. No, it's release and let go and the thing inside you, not the thing outside of you. Because the thing outside of you is definitely showing something about who you are anyway. So that's what your goal is in to release and let go. So really, really interesting. If anyone is on here and they'd like to have a general reading for their day today, I can go ahead and pull cards for that. These were excellent cards. I did not bring my my other phone in here, otherwise I'd be streaming on. Thank you, Shanae. I appreciate that. So that I'd be streaming on Facebook. However, I really like streaming here on YouTube, and I think I'm going to end up doing it. I shouldn't say I think, I know. I'm being humble here when it comes to even the message for these cards. It's so encouraging. It's so amazing. And when we listen to them, then it's really just pulling out the thoughts that are circulating in our brain. And sometimes those thoughts are so jumbled we can't seem to pull out the one thing that's most important. And then when you pull a card, it says to the brain, slow down, slow down, slow down. Shh. And then all of a sudden, then it magnifies a certain color, or it magnifies the image, magnifies an item or an element, and then boom, it comes in. That's what's so amazing. The cards never lie. And it allows you to be able to pull together the thought that has been circulating, especially if you have a really congested brain. That happens to me a whole lot. I have so many thoughts that are running in my brain about a lot of stuff. And so the cards help me to slow down. And sometimes I found, even where I was so congested in my thoughts, that I'd even forget to read my cards. So, some people say, "Oh, I don't need to read cards. I can find the answer whenever I want," or that intuition comes to me. That is good, and the cards are not meant for that, for everyone. As in, they need the card to get the answer. It's about using whatever tool that you have, whether it's recognizing the elements in your environment, for you to be able to get the intuitive answer. Some people are easier to be able to pull down and slow down the brain enough to be able to say, "Oh, I need to pay attention to that." And other people are like, "Oh no, I need a stopwatch that goes ding, 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 says stop, pay attention," like that. And so that's how the cards can help people, whether they're using tarot, or a pendulum, or any divinatory tool. It's really interesting. So thank you, Shanae, for being on here, and anyone else that is watching or that will be watching later. What I would like to say, it's my coffee time. So I am on here Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. So make sure that you subscribe, you like, and then click the little bell so you'll get the notice that I'm on here. So that is really fascinating to me. And let me go over here to Facebook, because I believe I have a couple of people that are looking to get readings. So I needed to let them know that I was on this side. I actually posted it, but I believe Facebook doesn't always share the post as soon as needed. So for those that end up coming a little later, then we do hope. Okay, so Yemoya, let me just go ahead and answer her. Thank you, Yemoya. She asked how soon will her finances increase, and we'll talk about that as well. I'm going to let her know. Come on to YT, and then I'll post that for her so that she has it. And thank you, everyone, for those that are jumping onto the live. Let's just double check that that is working just correctly. Thank you. That worked perfect. Thank you so very much. Okay, let me just get in here. And I'm going to go ahead and pull your cards because I know that you're watching. I'm going to go over here to this live stream. Thank you, thank you. Awesome. I really appreciate everyone coming on. And yes, this is a little bit of an adjustment because I was doing it on Facebook for a long time. Then took a hiatus, and now here I am back. And it feels good to be back. So not a hiatus from reading, just a hiatus from doing it on the live stream. So this is really good. And I had to just figure out how to use my tools. Okay, so this is for Yemoya, and she's asking me about the finances. Okay, so Yemoya, I'm going to pull 3 cards. I'm going to do a past, present, and how things are moving forward. I'm not going to tell you your future. That's not for any of us to say how somebody's future will be, because we can change the future just by our own decisions. But if we understand how the energy is moving, it gives us a better advantage to be able to maneuver. There you go. So let me go ahead. I'm pulling 3 cards for you. Oh, very good. 1, 2, 3. Okay, first card I'm pulling for you is the 9 of Swords. That's very interesting. That's past. Past could be as recent as yesterday. Okay. And the second card is the Ace of Swords. So you've got swords happening. This is reversed. This is really interesting. And the third card is the Empress. Excellent. So that's actually an excellent card. That Empress card is awesome. Okay, so we have the 9 of Swords. So the swords has to do with the intellect, intuition. It also has to do with the way that we think. And if you notice, the young man is sitting on that bed, and he's got the swords over him. It's really interesting when you look at this card. And I'm going to say that because, oh goodness, when you look at the card, yeah, the nine of Swords is connected to an old story, and so I'm going to share with you a little bit of that story. So there once was a king that had captured a man, and in the process, he couldn't get what he wanted out of the man, so he was going to threaten his life. So he threatened him with a slow death and literally tied a sword over his head. And then the sword would just sway, hanging from the string. And every night the king would release a mouse or a rat to come chew away at the cord. So if the man was left, he could have escaped death every night because the rat wasn't able to chew all the way through the brine or through the cord. So the next day the king would ask him again. And so the indication is that it could have been of upwards of 9 days that he went through this agony, wondering if he would live through another day. So our own thoughts can create constant agony, a cycle of agony. And it's really interesting. The 9 is connected to ending cycles. Now, this card wasn't in the reverse. So this is a constant cycling of thoughts that continue to create negative feelings in the body, causing you not to be able to rest, sleep well, and concern yourself over whatever that is. The negative thoughts. The negative thoughts could be, it may not have anything to do with money. Your negative thoughts could be about a relationship. Your negative thoughts can be about your living circumstance, where you live at, or it could be about your health. So whatever that negative thought is, it is creating a disturbance or a blockage so that you can't move forward. You're caught in that thought. So you can see that. Now, it's really interesting. We're talking about the sword coming down. Here's the Ace of Swords reversed. So it's like that sword is falling down. So in this case, the admonition today, because this was I'm going to say past, could be definitely connected to yesterday, right? Could even be the past 5 minutes ago. But moving forward, present, at this very moment, it's literally saying you got to cut the bullshit. You got to cut the negative thinking, and you have to take charge of it, because it's going to happen. Like whatever you're thinking, positive or negative, it's going to happen. And so it's up to you to make the change. It's up to you to decide how you want to move forward, how you want to create. It's up to you to do that. And that's really important. How you're making that change. What are you thinking? And you need to take charge of that thinking. And you need to cut the bullshit. Cut the negative thinking. And the sooner you do that, then you'll find your position of power that brings resources. And the reason why I say that is because the Empress is got enough to take care of her house and a couple of other people too. Right? So you can take care of yourself and you don't have to worry about any of that negative thinking, because you are working for your best interest, because you've cut away things that are detrimental to your progress. Okay, you've cut away things that are detrimental to your progress. That is so important, and this is a lesson for all of us. I think to myself, sometimes for myself, I might wake up in the middle of the night and then have a thought that I'm worried about. Another one of those things is that are we acquiring other people's thoughts psychically, so that we're worried in the middle of the night, especially when certain thoughts come in that are clearly not your thought. Like it's an issue, but it's not something you've really dealt with, but now all of a sudden you're worried about it. Then that's a psychic infiltration. So, and you are literally picking up on an electrical field of energy, thought. And so if you are having those kind of worries that are really not about you, then you need to shut that down so that you're not plagued by those thoughts that keep you from being able to get rest, so that you can remain in a positive space when you went to sleep. So what might that look like? If all of a sudden you wake up and you are concerned about someone else's physical wellness, or you're concerned about somebody's conversation about education or about the news, and then you're like, oh my gosh, that person is so stressed out. And all of a sudden you're just thinking about that person is so stressed out about the news. They're worried about the news and they shouldn't be worried about the news and blah, blah, blah. Well, that's because the person over on the other side went to sleep worried about the news, and there's some energetic pull that's coming to you. And that's how it woke you up, because there's still an energetic link. So therefore, it's really good to send that energy back to the person and then create your shield or your field again. And it doesn't mean that you don't like them or that you don't care about them, but you can send good well wishes. Oh, I send a positive feeling back to this person, and I release and let go. There's that let go again. Any guilt that I'm not able to care for this person's or for this issue. And I release and let go that I am holding on to this so that I'm not able to get rest. Whatever that is, I release and let go of any guilt that I'm working through that's connected to that experience. I release and let go of the sadness that I'm not able to make a change at this very, very moment, right? And that the change can happen later in the day, but it may not be able to happen in that very, very moment. So then that's part of that worrisome stuff that happens, that you're creating negativity. So release and let go of the negativity that you are creating, if that makes any sense. And in the process, releasing and letting go of that, things that are in your control, not other people, just releasing and letting go of what it is that you're not able to change at the moment, but also forgiving yourself for how you've interacted in that experience is really cool. Definitely will allow you to step into your power here, be the empress that you are, and create based on your work and your activity. So it's not about words, because we can be doing the affirmations all day long. But if you notice, she has a scepter in her hand and she's pregnant. So therefore, that means that she's been creating something that she's about to birth. So it's not about sitting still. It's about creating something and working towards the goal of bringing financial support and stability into your experience. So I'm going to try and turn that light so it doesn't glare so much. I think it might be glaring a little bit. But, and I'll work out those technical difficulties a little later. I'm like, oh, anyways, I'm actually really glad that the stream is completely moving forward without any glitches, because at the very beginning it started to do that little buffering thing and I was trying to figure that out. So I'll be here again, like I said, every day, Monday through Friday, 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. You can definitely come in, set your alarm. You can do so by subscribing to my channel and then clicking the little bell, because then it'll let you know, oh, she's on, and you can come in and then get see the reading for the day. In addition, if you would like a personal reading, you can go to my website, Michaela-Rena.com. If you look in the description below, you'll see my link right there. We also have a community group called the Witches Tradition Group. You can join that group. It is a free group. It's good. We have great activities in that group. So again, subscribe. Hit the little bell for the notifications. You can go to my website if you'd like a personal reading and that is connected to your health, your wealth, your relationship. And I'm going to tell you, it has been very good for me, even as I look at the different things and the changes that are happening, especially in 2020, how it unfolded, how it definitely is a foundational year. And I'm going to say, when we're building a house, you have to grade the land. And in doing so, you may have to see how bumpy the land is so that you know how you're going to build your house, right? So it's really interesting how this year has been, and getting a better perspective on that really is enlightening. And it also allows us to be able to tap back into ourselves and accept some aspect of ourselves that we may not have been ready to look at, which is really interesting. So let me go on the other side. I believe I got another message. Excuse me. Thank you so very much. Yamoya said, thank you, sis. You were so welcome. I'm going to, let me see if I can get this link for this beautiful young lady. Share. Copy. There you go. She is definitely wonderful. I have several different areas that I've been posting, and let me just let her know. Just did your reading. There you go. And that is so amazing. I'm really glad to be able to do this, and I'm learning how to do it on this side. That's really important, how to do it on the on this particular stream. And I'll put that there. Just now live. Thank you, everyone, for participating. I really appreciate it. And again, this is really different, being able to be on the YouTube side as opposed to the Facebook side. So I appreciate anybody that are, all of you that have that's walking through the transition with me. I appreciate that. Thank you, Shanae, for joining today. I really appreciate you as well. So, and we've got a few more minutes, so I'm going to stay on just because I've made that post. I wanted to make sure that I've been able to support those that are in the room. So, oh, thank you, Shanae. I see the hands up. Thank you. I appreciate it. Absolutely. So, this is really good. I have a lot of different decks. However, I'm finding a lot of joy with this particular deck that I'm using, the Melanated Classic Tarot, right here. And again, like I said, make sure that you subscribe. Look, you can see I'm so new on this side. I'm like, oh, what do I say over here? When I'm on Facebook, I have a whole bunch of lot to say. And it's, a lot of people are different, different people are coming in there looking for their reading. So over here, I'm literally making the baby step transition. So, yeah. So anyways, however that goes, right, Shanae? Thank you for the hearts, my love. You're probably like, yeah, okay, whatever. And I do have a few minutes. If you have a question and you would like answered, or if you just having a thought you'd like to share, go ahead, and I can actually see your comments right now, and I can go ahead and pull cards for you. It's so interesting. I have a lot to do at revamping the website. I had to clean up the website and get the blog taken care of and all that good stuff. But I didn't do it without reading my cards first, which is really fascinating. Like I said, sometimes we can get so many thoughts, can get caught up in our head. We don't know, what do I do next? Oh, I actually had, oh my God, I don't know who this is for, but it's 3 cards, so I'm going to go ahead and read this. 3 cards flew out. I don't know if y'all saw that. 3 cards flew out. So I'm going to share them as they flew out, as I seen them first. The 7 of Swords, 3 of Wands, oh my gosh, and the Moon reversed. Oh my gosh. Okay, so I got to read that. That was wild. I love it. And it was 3 cards. Okay. So the 7 of Swords, we're doing past, present, and moving forward. So we can say past could be 5 minutes ago, right? Okay. Or 5 days ago. In this case, I'm going to say the last 7 days because it's 7. So again, that Swords is about your ideas and your intellect and your creative responsibility. And when I say that, creative responsibility, that's like writing and documentation. And so it's almost like you or any person thinks that they left something on the table and they've got to go back and get it because they feel like something's been taken from them and they need to retrieve it. And it's interesting because the Swords can be like ego. Shanae says, will I feel a presence with me? What would they like me to know? Well, here, as you were typing that, then I was shuffling the cards and 3 came out. So I know that whatever this is about is necessary for all of us to hear. So anyways, again, we may feel like our ego has been challenged, and so we didn't take all of what we were supposed to, or maybe our ideas have been taken from us and we got to go back and get it, or our thoughts are being challenged and we have to have the last word. Oh, that's huge. We got to have the last word. That's how it's been in the last 7 days. However, the 3 of Wands pops up. That's today. This is about creating something different and better and having an outlook. Don't let go of what you've already created, which is the wand that's in the background. These are the ones that are in the background, right? Don't let go of what you've created because it's definitely a great resource. It's good for you. However, it's now also time to create even better and have a positive outlook. And there's something coming into you. I like this card because it's like someone's ship is coming in. There's like little ships and they're coming in. Something's coming in because of what you're now choosing to work through. And so here, where we might have felt like we need the last word, our ego is being challenged. It literally, this 3 of Wands is saying it's time to focus on something different. Focus on a positive aspect of what you are creating. Because in doing so, you will now you will draw to you what is necessary. However, it's the Moon reversed. This is what the Moon looks like currently, right? But it came reversed. So this is definitely I like this card. That is in reverse. This is not about holding things in and being secretive about it, about what you feel or what you're creating. This is about now exposing your own desires and being okay that it's open, right? I like the little dogs and the critters. And the dogs and the critters is very interesting. Whenever I see them, I always think them as bothersome. But in this case, you don't let what someone may know or what you even know about yourself, the secret person, be a hindrance to your progress. It's not about you being worried about how will people look at me, or how am I looking at myself about my past, or not being able to do or materialize what I've desired inside my heart. It's now time for you to step into that power and materialize that. It's time to not be not hide, and if anything, what I'm going to say is not be embarrassed for your gifts, not being embarrassed for who you are, and then also letting go of any pride that's connected to that. Right? That's where that Seven of Swords is at. So letting go of the ego, working through whatever that was. It's really interesting. We're at the full moon, Gemini. Letting go of even the ego conversation to yourself. Recognize that what you've created is good, and then what you are creating now is bringing blessings in. And then as it's here, it's not about you being secretive about what you're working on, but now being the light. Like you're now in transformation. You need to transform that negative energy, that internal secret aspect of yourself, into something far greater. And so, man, I like that, especially today with the lunar eclipse, because this is like reflective of the lunar eclipse right here. Man, that's so cool. I love it. It's really great. It's so awesome when we get to see how these things, how they transform and how it manifests for us. So that's why those 3 cards popped out. I love it. Don't think you lost anything. That's the point. And so if this is resonating with Shanae, because she just asked, maybe there's something that she needs to know. Don't think that you lost anything, or that you left something on the table, or that you didn't get to say what you needed to say. Right. Thank you, Shanae. Don't think that. Because it's not even about that anymore. So that's part of the ego. The ego wants to feel like it needs to have the last say. It doesn't. It just needs to move forward and begin creating something better. And it doesn't mean to let go of the thoughts. It doesn't mean to let go of what you created in the past, because what you did create in the past actually is good. And it's a provision toward the future. Like what you did in the past, for any of us, what we've done in the past is has created enough of a foundation so that now what you are now focusing on can bring in resources. And again, the moon being reversed, this is not about going in and holding and having any resentment or regret. This is or holding in the secret person of the heart, like not letting anybody know who you really are. This is about stepping into your power and being who you really are for yourself and anybody else that sees. And you don't have to feel any sort of trepidation over that, or judgment or worry. Will people accept you? Because it's no longer about will other people accept you, or anyone that's getting this reading. It's, do you accept yourself and step into that power? Well, I want to thank you for joining me today. It has been awesome. I'm so glad that the feed just kept going through. So we'll do this again tomorrow and we'll make it better and better and better. This is Michaela Rena. Make sure you like and subscribe below. Share my video out. Hit the bell so you can get the reminders if you want a personal reading so that you can see more into whatever it is that you are needing to explore, especially going into the 2021 year. You can definitely get an annual reading from me as well. You can go to my website. It's in the description below, michaela-rena.com. Really glad to be able to support and assist through this journey that we are all on. Blessed be. Star greet to each one of you.